Welcome everybody. This video is pretty much about when I first moved out and how much it costed me to move out and sustain my 1-bedroom studio flat. The year was 2020, so bear with me. I am remembering how much things used to cost for me. I just went through my old bills and paperwork to see what it really was like and why I was struggling, and I made some points, so let's not delay any further. So going back now a little bit of a memory lane, I remember now it was the year 2020 and I had to get onto the housing list. So that means going onto our local council website and actually making an application so then I can get onto the housing list. Was I pushed forward because I'm already a council tenant? I don't actually know. I think, I don't know if you actually get any more points or not, but everyone starts on 100 points, right? And the way the system works is that every single month you gain a point. Now it depends on your circumstances, if you're working or not working, or if you have children to care for, or if you have an adult to care for, then you will get some more points on that system, so then it won't take as long for you to make a bid and actually win the bid. So how it would work is whoever's got the most points and places the bids would either place third, second or first, and then it comes to if that person definitely decides to take that the bid that they want. So fast forward about, I think it was by the end of 2021, so about 20 months in of me actually making my application and then having enough points to bid, it was the end of 2021. So it was around 20 months, almost 2 years, when I finally got to about 130 points, I remember now. And that's when I started getting to third or second place or first place, when I started making biddings for studio apartments. One thing you have to note though, if you are doing that, if you're young and you're bidding on like over 50s properties, it's not going to happen. You're not going to win that place because it's made or it's catered for either the elderly or people who are in care. So yeah, that's how I got into council housing or association housing first on my own, and what I had to do to move out of my mum's place and make sure it was affordable. I did look at private renting. It was crazy to even begin with, to think about my wage and how much I would have to pay, and I didn't want to do house share, which is like the same amount of money that I would be spending and not have my own privacy. Yes, I was being a little bit selfish, but I mean, I wasn't like a student. I was a little bit older. I was working full time, and these are the costs. So I won't delay any further. These are the costs that I faced. The rent was 585, okay, and this was every single month. 585. It didn't change for the entire time that I was there. I was there for an entire 2 years, and it didn't change. So that was a good thing. The council tax was £90, and I got 20% single person discount. So if I had someone else living with me, it would be a little bit more. But to be honest with you, that 1-bedroom place was not. I don't think a couple could really live there. Maybe just about, but you'd be living on top of each other. And that was £90 a month. So that total came up to 675 just to keep the roof over my head. And then electric was £20 a week ish, so about £80 a month. And during that period, actually, I remember we got some reimbursement because the electric companies had overcharged in that time in the UK. So we did have like an allowance, and everyone got given like a monthly allowance. So for the majority of the time that I was there, I actually got quite a bit of money back. Water was £40 a month. It's no biggie. It's a small place. Food, I am a big eater. I didn't eat out, but I used to buy a lot of meat and eggs, and I used to work out. And I used to eat good, make sure that I eat good when my fridge was working, because I bought second-hand appliances all the time, and we'll get into that. But food was, £120 a month, so about £40 a week for a single person. And then obviously my car payment, which is £200 a month, well, was £200 a month. Now looking back, should I have got a pay monthly car? Probably not. I should have saved up and just bought a car outright. That would have allowed me to have more expendable income. So that's probably a bad decision. If you are moving out, I'd suggest it wasn't even like a fancy car, it was just a standard Skoda Octavia, like 10 years old. It was a 13 plate, and well, actually, yeah, it was alright. It was 8-9 years old. So it wasn't special. It was just a £200 car, £200 a month car, and the car insurance was £60. It was really low. My tax was free, so I did make sure that I was going to be able to afford the car. The car wasn't really the issue. It was more me being surprised by the costs of running your own place and having a car. So the total going through, and petrol, of course, yeah, you can't it doesn't run on dreams. The petrol to run that car was about, well, it was diesel, £120 a month, so £40 a week to get to work and back, and the occasional seeing a family on Sunday or Saturday, which is just like a 10-mile journey. But yeah, petrol was crazy that time because it was just after COVID. It was like almost £2 a litre, so it was expensive. That total comes up to £1,295 a month, so £1,300 a month, and that was for a 1-bedroom flat studio apartment for one person with a single car. And I remember I was making about £400 a week as a labourer on site, and that was after tax. So £2,000, £2,100 before tax. So I wasn't earning crazy money, but I wasn't earning minimum wage. It was just a shock to me by how much I would have to spend on keeping a roof over my head and keeping myself fed, and just there was a £20 gym membership that I had to pay for. That was it. But if anything went wrong in my life, for example, if I had a breakdown or my car went bad, or if my fridge broke, for example, because my fridge was breaking down and then my food wasn't like staying within the right temperatures, and then I got food poisoning, and then I couldn't work for a week. So that led on to me being without money for a week. I earned significantly less in that month, and then got even more stressed out with my bills and ended up in rental arrears. It just showed me how easy and how disadvantaged you are if you don't have that extra, let's say, month's worth of savings for these kind of times in your life when sometimes things go wrong. And I didn't even spend a lot of money on furnishing my place, you know. I bought furniture from Oxfam, Facebook Marketplace, British Heart Foundation. I remember my mum spent like £70 on the carpet when we went to have a look at the offcuts in a big carpet warehouse, and my mum and brother spent, I think it was like a £200 fridge for me. It was like a part of my birthday present, so it was just to look after me. So it wasn't like I was buying crazy furniture or things. I was buying saucepans and knives and forks, and just took basic plates from home, from my mum's house, to just get started, and bowls and stuff just to get started. It was only me living there. It wasn't like I had to furnish the entire thing. I slept on the floor. I took my mattress from my mum's house and just slept on the floor before I even got a bed frame. And I did that for about a couple months. I bought a £10 sofa, which was an M&S sofa, and it was on Facebook Marketplace. I found that for £10. I took my auntie's little study table. So many things that I made do without, and like I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I knew this wasn't going to be the place, like my forever place. It wasn't the prettiest of places to live, obviously. It was in a little bit of a bad area. I mean, it was about the same as this place. It wasn't dangerous, but it was just rough. There wasn't anything that I wasn't used to. It was just, you have to make yourself aware to people, and say hello when you're coming in, and make sure people get to know you, so you don't really get involved in trouble or stay clear of anything. No one's going to hassle you because they know you and you say hello and you're friendly. So £1,300 and £1,600 a month I was getting paid. I had about £300 expendable cash, and then sometimes I would buy things like whey protein and a gym membership, or an occasional beer with a friend, or, you know, go out to eat with my missus. those are the things that I would do occasionally, and it would take one bad week or a few days off work to ruin my complete month and literally get me down so much for the rest of the few months, because I would be in arrears and playing catch up for that entire time. The main things I could take from this, like the learning curve that I had to go through when moving out, is definitely lower your expenditures. Things like obviously car payments, they do not need to be in your life. If you can afford to save before you move out, and you have a bit more time to move out, time before you move out, I would say get a car that's paid out and maybe pay for a year's worth of insurance, so it gives you time to save again and have 1 or 2 months worth of savings before you move out. And if anything goes wrong, like your oven breaks or your fridge breaks or just anything, I mean, I know the council would come out and fix my radiators and boiler and everything like that, but if anything goes wrong in your personal life, like in your car, or if you get ill, then you've got that backup. That's definitely something that I would do before moving out now. Also, you have to think about time scale as well. It took me 20 months to even get to a level where I had enough points on my profile to bid and win the bidding, and then I actually ended up only staying there for around just about 2 years. Was it worth it? Experience-wise, as growing up and learning the financial budgeting aspect of life, definitely. Maybe I should have done it sooner, because I would be a bit more further ahead, but I had to do it sometime, and I didn't want to wait around till now or like my 30s to do it. I would just feel like a bit of a loser, but that was definitely a wake-up call. It showed me how hard my mum has worked to raise me and my brother alone, and then how she had to have 2 jobs, and I just realised how difficult it really is in the real world. I mean, it's a wake-up call. The UK is not easy to live on. I know this is the south of England, so it's a bit more pricier compared to up north. I've never lived up north, so I don't know what the job situation is up there, but I know there's a slight difference in pay and pay grade. Some places, I mean, you will get paid the exact same rate no matter what, because it's just the type of field that you're in. But the living costs are probably, I mean, there's a big difference. I know with this, like how much house or space you get, and there are also the wages as well. So I can't comment on the north, but this is what I experienced by living in Hampshire in the south of England. And I only had maybe 150 to £200, maybe not even that sometimes, left over. And I was working 45-hour weeks. Maybe I could have picked up a second job, but then I would literally never be home. I would just be sleeping. And I know that's what life is like for some people, and maybe I'm complaining a lot. I just didn't think it was going to be that tight every single month. One thing as well that I don't pay for anymore, which I was paying for, was my smoking habit, and that probably did cost me more than I needed to pay out for every single month. So I wouldn't do that. Make sure you kill all the habits that you don't need to have in your life before you make a big move like that. And maybe remove yourself from friends who make you go out all the time and drink, waste your money. Or if you're even younger, maybe like the kind of social groups where they judge you on what you're wearing or what you have in your flat, and what you have on you, or if your haircut's not perfect, or if you haven't got a clean trim. I know what boys are like. You know, we roast each other and rinse each other, especially when you're young. If you're going to do that and you know things are going to be a little bit tight or in a pinch, maybe find a decent job or get a better job. That's one thing I constantly did whilst I was at home after work. I was looking for a better job or something more stable or permanent. I wasn't just a labourer. I mean, I did have another role when I worked in sales and I worked in insurance, but they were brief. And I got sacked, or I just left because I just found it soul destroying. And and labouring was something that I could keep dealing with, because I prefer to just switch off my brain and work on my own projects at home, or think about my own life, rather than giving my entire existence to something 8 hours a day, or using my brain and then having just being a brainless zombie at home. But maybe people are different, you know. I like to work with my hands a bit more and save my brain for myself. But this is just a little piece of my life that happened from 2020 to the end of, was it end of 23? The beginning of April. So yeah, 2020 to April 20. It was actually April 1st I moved out, because it was a joke. And I moved out in April 23, and my car got stolen on 2 days before. So my car got stolen, and I chose to leave that place as well, because my rental arrears got so crazy and I was in quite a low place. But that's what it did to me, and that's how much it costed. So there's a little bit of information for you guys of what to prepare for if you do move out, and what to expect on the costs if you're living in the southern region of England, especially just outside of London, or let's just say below Birmingham all the way down. It's crazy, especially if you're only on about £2 grand a month. It's going to be tight. If you don't drive, obviously you're going to have other costs like travel passes and Ubers, so you have to factor that in as well. It's not always cheaper to just be off the road. Sometimes it's more expensive. It depends on how far you work and what your work life is like. If you can just catch a bus to work, or walk to work, or cycle, that's even better. You're saving yourself £200, £300, £400 a month. But yeah, those are the things I'll think about. If I was a young man restarting again, definitely get the best job possible you can, get the most highest job possible you can, stay in a job as well, work as hard as you can, and get your career to a point where you're a little bit more stable in life. Have about 2 or 3 months worth of savings just in case things go wrong, and downgrade your life a little bit. Don't be afraid to just say no to your ego. Get rid of that car. You don't need that car. Get a cheaper car and just deal with it, and make sure it's a good running car, but it doesn't have to be cool. No one's judging you. So yeah, anyway guys, I'm gonna log out. That was pretty much a brief summary. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you found any of this relevant, or if you found it insightful, give it a like and comment if you have faced the same thing in life. God bless guys, and good night.
Got me feeling like AJ at Wembley. I got a house in the sticks, I'm living stress free. God bless me, guide me, protect me.